Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today on how to pay for your MBA, hosted by MPOWER Financing and our great friends over at the GMAT Club. Very quickly about myself, my name is Sasha Ramani. I'm from Canada, and I've studied myself personally at both the University of Waterloo and Harvard University. So I've experienced being an international student myself, and hope to be able to, and hope that my experience can help some of you who are seeking to pursue an education around the world as well. Currently delighted to be here at MPOWER Financing to help all of you understand how you can perform, how you can embark on an MBA or other business school journey around the world. So I'll be talking today very quickly about MBA admission trends, just so you're all familiar, although I'm sure other sessions at GMAT Lab have covered that as well. I'm going to be talking about the cost of education, what you might generally expect, how to finance your education. That's where we at MPOWER Financing can really help you out. I'm going to discuss some of the student support services that MPOWER offers its students, and I think we should have plenty of time at the end for questions and answers. I'll try to take some questions in the middle as well, so please don't hesitate to type any questions you might have in the comment section of this stream. So very quickly, there are essentially 5 quick trends I want to go over when it comes to MBA admissions. And again, I'm sure that you've all heard this covered in different sessions with the GMAT Club before, but the 5 trends which I found to be particularly interesting are: number 1, demand has surged for an MBA and a broader business school education during the pandemic. In a sense, it's something we've seen in economic hard times in the past as well, that in economically challenging times, the demand for higher education tends to surge, and this is no exception at all. We also see, of course, with the pandemic, there's an increase in demand for online education. So a lot of business schools have explored whether it's part online or part in-person programs as well. That's something that you might be able to look forward to in the future. As some schools decide, hey, it's worked for us in 2020 and 2021, maybe we can carry that, that to the future. You will also see some interesting trends regarding test scores. A lot of schools are waiving or changing their testing requirements, or they may be accepting non-traditional scores like Duolingo for English language testing. And different schools will, of course, have different rules, and that's something which you should check at for the schools that you're applying to. Schools are also offering flexible policies in terms of admission deadlines and deferral policies in case students need to wait a little bit before they start school. So those are all things which you would want to discuss with your university, your admissions and financial aid officers as well. And finally, a lot of traditionally in-person events which have been moved virtual over the past year, we can expect several of those to stay virtual as well. Whether they be interviews, tours, events, maybe some classes, that's something which a lot of schools continue to experiment with, and we'll be able to see what a lot of them end up doing for fall 2021 and beyond. So those are some of the 5 big trends that I think we see in business school education today. It's obviously a very unusual time. So let me move on and talk about the cost of education. So the total tuition cost of an MBA can range very widely. Over here, I have 5 randomly chosen schools. Of course, there are many other schools on the spectrum, but we see that just out of these 5 schools that I've chosen over here, the MBA or business or equivalent business programs at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign cost about $85,000-ish, and this is tuition alone. Living costs will be on top of that. A lot of schools will actually charge a lot more, especially if you're looking for a top 10 program from your Harvard Business School or Stanford Graduate School of Business. Tuition costs alone can easily run quite higher than these figures over here. But there are also many schools that offer a great quality education, like the ones over here, which are actually fairly affordable. So students who are worried about the high sticker costs of, I see there's a question about a $200,000 tuition that somebody asked, you can get pretty good value with a school like Boston University, which charges total tuition of a little bit shy of $60,000. So I think it's important to consider too, yes, everybody wants to go to your Harvard Business School, your INSEAD, your Stanford Graduate School of Business, but there's a lot of value to be had as well with schools that can be less than half the price, but still offer a very high quality of education. So let's talk about how choosing the right program can help to reduce costs. First of all, a lot of schools today offer 1-year MBA or business school programs. Now, just because it's 1 year instead of 2 does not mean it's half the cost. As a rough approximate rule of thumb, a 1-year program, I think it's good to estimate it'll cost about 75% or about 3/4 of the cost of a 2-year program. Of course, that varies widely, but it just goes to show that you can save a little bit on expenses by picking a 1-year program. Of course, there might be things to trade off as well. Are you able to take all the courses you want to take in a 1-year program? Are you able to build the network that you wanted to build in a 1-year program? But that's absolutely something to consider for most financially conscious students. I might also suggest increasingly business schools are offering non-MBA business programs. They might be branded as an MS or a master's in finance or a master's in business analytics or something else. These are often far cheaper than an MBA program, but you'll still be able to go to an excellent school, which still has a flagship MBA program. A lot of these MS or MFin or MBAN programs might also offer STEM benefits. This means if you're going to study, particularly in the United States, you'll be able to get 3 years of an OPT visa as opposed to the standard 1 year if you pursue an MBA. So going to a non-MBA business school program could be a way to not only save a little bit on costs, but also to get STEM and immigration benefits, particularly if you're studying in the US. And finally, as I mentioned too, you can potentially get a great quality of education at a school that's not necessarily in a world top 10 tier. And those schools might also offer scholarships to help to help you to study at them as well. So you can still get a great education without necessarily looking exclusively at the world's top 5 or the top 10. So as we go on, I'm going to talk a little bit too of how to calculate the total cost of education, because that chart I showed before considered tuition only, but it's important to consider other costs like housing and living expenses, especially if you're going to a school in a high-cost city like New York or the California Bay Area. Housing can at times be unexpectedly high. And of course, I don't have to tell all of you, there are ways to save on housing through, for example, getting a roommate or maybe living a little bit further on campus. It's important to consider too that there are many ways to help cover those costs. The first two regard co-op employment and part-time work. One of the advantages of studying in Canada, for example, is that students can work part-time no matter whether it's on campus or off campus, which is something which students are not able to do in the US. In the US, you're able to work part-time on campus only, and that's something to consider if you're going to want to work part-time to help defray some of the cost of education. A lot of students fund their education through some combination of personal savings and family support. So of course, if you are in a position to do that, I strongly recommend you look at all sources of financial capital you have available. Scholarships, a lot of schools do offer scholarships for highly qualified students. So I think that you should definitely look at all the free sources of money you have available. MPOWER does offer scholarships, and I will talk about them. I'll talk about them during today's chat. And finally, loans. MPOWER is the leading provider of no-cosigner loans, and I'll be talking to you all about that as well. So as we go on, let me talk about how MPOWER can help you to finance your education at a top business school around the US and Canada. So a couple of the questions MPOWER was founded to understand is, why have I been I've been blessed to study at a top school, but why is it so hard to get a no cosigner loan? And even if I can, why does it take so long, require so much paperwork, and just why is the process so difficult? And these are challenges that MPOWER was founded to help resolve. So firstly, we at MPOWER, our mission is to offer education financing through loans and scholarships to high promise students just like you from around the world to help you further your academic aspirations. And we do this because we believe that socioeconomic mobility should be borderless. We are international students ourselves, or most of our team are, so we understand the challenges, especially the financial challenges that come when international students seek to study abroad. So here are some financing terms, and you'll all get a copy of this. No need to take notes necessarily. We offer financing of up to $50,000. That's about 62,000 Canadian dollars for those of you who want to study in Canada. And I saw you've done a lot of questions about this already. Our loans can cover tuition, housing, meals, and other off-campus expenses. So any education-related expenses, an MPOWER loan will be able to cover. Our loans range from about 6.49 to 13.99%, and we offer substantial interest rate discounts, which are very easy to get for factors such as making regular payments. Unlike some other parties, we help all of our students to build a credit profile and for free offer visa support letters and loan sanction letters, which can help you to get a study permit and help you get immigration. We actually have a very strong success rate of our loan letters being respected by immigration authorities in both the US and Canada to help students to get those immigration documents which they need. Finally, there's no prepayment penalty. What that means is that after you graduate, you did a great job. If you want to pay off your loan after your MBA, no problem. You can pay it off right away, and there's no cost or anything to do that. And this is because we at MPOWER try very hard to be a partner for students to set you up for success, not only in school, but after graduation as well. And I'll be talking about all those free support services that we offer as well. So you're going to hear from me that MPOWER is great, and of course I will tell you that, but we've been rated independently as the #1 student loan provider for international students by all of these independent organizations, NerdWallet, Investopedia, US News and World Report. These are all firms that have independently rated us and have seen that we are the top no cosigner lender for international students. So how do you apply for MPOWER loan? It's actually very easy. Go to our website. It takes about 30 seconds to check your eligibility. You can do it right now while I'm talking. But essentially, you must be going to an MPOWER school in the US or Canada. There are about 400 different colleges and universities that MPOWER handles, that MPOWER supports around the US and Canada. So you can quickly have a look and make sure that your school is on our list. Generally, though, if you're going to a top school in the US or Canada, it will almost definitely be on our list. Criteria number 2, you must be within 2 years of graduation. If you're looking for a graduate business degree, that's probably not going to be a problem. They all tend to be 1 or 2 years anyway, so that's not going to be a big bottleneck factor for many of your team. And finally, you must be pursuing a degree-seeking program. We support all degrees, but they must be a degree. It cannot be a certificate or a diploma or something else. It must be a degree-seeking program. But I think that you'll see that it's pretty generous. I mean, this will not exclude very many students at all. So hopefully all of you are able to confirm that you're eligible for funding with MPOWER. So how do you apply? Again, it's very quick and easy on our website. It just takes about 30 seconds to confirm your eligibility. You can do it while I'm talking right now. And we encourage you all to at least confirm your eligibility so you know that we are an option. But generally, we support as many students as possible. So you will almost all be eligible, I'd say, if you're studying in the US or Canada. So let me talk quickly, because MPOWER, as I mentioned before, we work hard to be a support network for students. We offer a lot of free services to set you up for success. So I'm going to talk about some of those. First of all, we offer great interest rate discounts. We offer half a percentage point right away about signing up for automatic payments. You can all do that right away, instantly. It's so easy. Wait 6 months, you get another half a percentage point off. You don't even have to do anything. You just sign up for automatic payments and wait 6 months, and there you go. It'll drop your interest rate will drop even further. And finally, the last discount we offer is upon graduation and security of job. If you're going to a great MBA program, that'll be no challenge for you. Every single one of you is eligible for every single one of these discounts. It's not some marketing talk that only some people are eligible for. Every single MPOWER student can get every single one of these discounts. And you can see they're so easy to get. Hopefully, you'll all be able to take advantage of them. We also offer scholarships. So these are some of the scholarships we've offered in the past. Scholarships are free money. Everybody loves free money. Please go to our website, apply for our scholarships. We're actually offering a new batch of scholarships where we're offering a couple of $1,000s every month this summer. So please go to our scholarships website. You don't have to apply to a loan to get them. Every scholarship has a little bit different criteria, so I'd recommend verifying. So for example, Women in STEM requires you to be a woman studying in a STEM program. A STEM program could be, for example, a master's in finance counts as a STEM program. A master's in business analytics counts as a STEM program. So the criteria are a little bit different for all of them, but generally, if you're an international student going to an MPOWER school, you will almost certainly be eligible for one or more of our scholarships. And as I mentioned repeatedly, we position students for success. So we offer a lot of free services to all of our students. Firstly, we offer a lot of support both in school and afterwards for visa and immigration support for both the US and Canada. For example, there have been students who have graduated from a US school. If an MPOWER student, let's say they graduate from a US school, but they have trouble getting a job, we can help them get a job in Canada and maybe deal with the Canadian immigration system as well. It's some of the free services that we offer students, and we recommend that you all take advantage of them. We help our students to build a credit score in the US and Canada, which can be important after you graduate. We offer free career prep in the form of resume reviews and networking support, job interview training, and other support, and a lot of additional support when it comes to assimilating in your new country, and support for the pandemic. Compared to some other firms you might have heard of, we have honored every single approval letter we have ever made in our history. Unfortunately, in the pandemic, there have been some stories online. You'll see, oh, I got approved, but my approval disappeared. That has never happened for an MPOWER loan, and it never will happen either. So that's just something that I think is important to mention, because even in the height of the pandemic, MPOWER was there to stand by its students. We are committed to supporting all of our students. That's something we're proud of in our firm's history, and it will always continue in the future for MPOWER as well. Again, you don't have to see it from me. You can see testimonies here from our happy students. You can go to our websites like Trustpilot, which have independent reviews from students who have availed an MPOWER loan in the past. As I mentioned as well, there are some rating firms, where are they? Here they are, which have independently rated MPOWER as the top no-cosigner lender for international students. We're very proud of all of our reviews and all the wonderful things that our students have helped to say about us in the past. So we hope that we can be a partner for you as you continue your educational journey. And I'd love to take the rest of our time. I know we have lots of time left, but you don't need to hear from me. I'd love to hear from you and to answer any questions that all of you might have about how MPOWER can be a financial partner for your business school education. Thank you so much. So my colleague Malako on the chat has already helped to answer quite a few questions, so I'm quite happy to see that. But if any of you have any questions for now, happy to take them. Since nobody else has any questions for now, which is fine, but let's just wait another couple minutes perhaps. All right, let me go back. And my colleague has helped to answer some of these questions already. So let's just see that. So Sunil asked what currency is a loan in? The currency is in US dollars, which helps to save students a lot of costs too. There are a lot of costs that other lenders might charge, such as a disbursement charge or a Forex charge, which you will not have to deal with an MPOWER loan. Criteria to be eligible, as I mentioned, the only real criteria are you're going to an MPOWER school, you're within 2 years of graduation, and you're pursuing a degree-seeking program. Beyond that, almost all of you will be eligible, and you can confirm that very quickly on our website as well. Sunil asked again, do our loans cover both tuition and living costs? The answer is yes. Any education-related costs, MPOWER is happy to cover. That could be tuition, definitely tuition. Also housing, meal plans, insurance, anything related to education, MPOWER will be able to cover those expenses. Cassie asked if a high GRE or GMAT score affects chances of receiving a scholarship. No, MPOWER does not really require that for scholarships. But if you're asking for loans, generally what I'd say is that it's, as long as you get admitted to a good school with a good GRE or GMAT requirement, even if the school doesn't have any requirements, I'd say that it's nice to have. It's not required to be approved for an MPOWER loan. Nilesh asked about any questions about an ongoing housing loan to get a student loan. Well, I'd say that we definitely look at the total debt burden on the student. I'd say that it's not an issue because a lot of students do have mortgages or auto loans or other loans when they get an MPOWER loan. It's something we look at, but it's not going to be an issue per se, as long as it's disclosed and we can see that you're making your housing payments on time and everything else. I don't imagine that being a big constraint. Yashika asked if MPOWER finances students in the US and Canada only. Yes, that's correct. Again, we support about 400 different students in the US and Canada, so please feel free to look at one of the schools on our list. There was a question, I forgot who asked it because I scrolled past it by mistake, about students, do they need collateral or a cosigner? No, no collateral, no cosigner required to take advantage of an MPOWER loan. So please don't hesitate to apply today. Atul just asked, how do you fund, I guess, a very expensive program without any collateral? So MPOWER does provide a maximum loan amount of $50,000. As I mentioned, there are some great business school programs which will cost $50,000 or less. If you require more funding, we do recommend you can take advantage of our scholarships. A lot of the time, schools offer scholarships, or you can combine with another lender as well. We're not jealous. If you want to look at an MPOWER loan in addition to another loan, that's totally fine, and you can absolutely take advantage of multiple providers. We're not going to be jealous or anything about that. Hyo-san asked, during the in-school period, basically describe in-school payments. We do ask for interest-only payments while the student is in school. These can be deferred if it's difficult to work part-time or something to make those payments, but we do highly recommend, if possible, to make in-school payments for a couple of reasons. Number one, it stops the interest from accumulating and capitalizing on the loan. So you actually save a lot of money in total if you can make those in-school payments. But reason number two is if you make in-school payments, we can help you to build a credit score. You can build a credit score in the US, which can help you after graduation as well. Remember that part of MPOWER Works is that we strive to be a partner for students who helps to set you up for success after graduation as well. And part of how we do that is that if possible, we try to help you to establish a credit profile, which even after graduation can help you rent a place to live. In some parts of the world, can help you get a job. So if you make an in-school interest-only payment, which is, it could be deferred if you want to, but if you can make it, it can help you a long way after graduation as well. Yashika asked if the loans are school specific. That's an interesting question. I'd say that yes, the loans are school specific, but we cover at about almost 400 universities around the US and Canada. We can cover any of those schools. If you move school in the middle, or let's say you get approved for school A, but then you transfer to school B, as long as school B is MPOWER eligible, then there's not going to be a big problem to transfer that loan over. So please don't worry about that. Trying to see if I missed any other questions. Rajat also asked about in-school payments, which I believe I just covered. All right, so I think that's all the questions for now. If any of you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our website, of course, is just mpowerfinancing.com, and a member of our team would be delighted to speak with you. Thank you so much. Thank you to the GMAT Club for helping to organize this session, and wishing you all success with your educational pursuits, whether you choose MPOWER to help you or not. Thank you very much.